Hi, this is Chris Miglino. I am here at the EF Hutton Conference in New York. I am here with Amit Kumar at AnixaBiosciences, trades under the symbol ANIX. Amit, thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you very much for having me, Chris.
So tell us a little bit about the company. I know you're doing work in the cancer space. Give us an idea of what area of cancer you guys are focused on and what the investors need to know about the company.
Well, we are a immunotherapy company. We have 2 clinical trials going right now. One is for a breast cancer vaccine. The idea is to be able to prevent breast cancer.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Initially, we're focused on women who are cancer survivors and worried about recurrence of breast cancer. But eventually, we want to expand this vaccine to all women, essentially, in the world who are worried about getting breast cancer. The other program that we have in the clinic is a chimeric antigen receptor T-cell technology. It's a new type of immunotherapy that is designed, in this case, for treating ovarian cancer patients. These are patients who have failed other therapies and so essentially are on their last legs, and we are evaluating whether our immunotherapy can help save their lives. In clinical trials, phase 1, early days, but very, very promising results. And then we have a whole bunch of other vaccines and immunotherapies in the pipeline, but all of those are preclinical at the current time.
What do you think happens here with cancer? Enough people have lost family members to cancer. It's just terrible disease. Do you think we see a cure for this sometime in our lifetime?
Absolutely. I'm obviously very biased.
Well, that's fantastic news.
Very hopeful. We think, one of the great advances over the last decade in cancer, as well as other things, has been that our bodies are quite well equipped to fight cancer. Unfortunately, in most cases, our immune systems are not strong enough. The immune system is able to fight cancer throughout your life until eventually it's no longer able to. And we have learned a lot about the immune system, and we learned how to boost its ability, how to teach it to attack cancer. And we're starting to see revolutionary new therapies against certain types of cancers, which just a decade ago were death sentences. And companies like ours and many others are working in areas that are very novel. And in our case, for example, with our vaccines, we want to prevent it. And frankly, what's better than curing cancer? We talk about curing cancer all the time. But what's better than curing it is not ever getting it.
Right, and you really think that's possible? You think it's that the technology is there to identify what goes wrong in the body to allow cancer to continue to grow, and you think that you can stop that with a vaccine?
I absolutely believe so.
That's fantastic.
I think over the next decade or so, we're going to see revolutionary developments in vaccine technology.
And is that what other areas of cancer are advancing? Like you said, there's some cancers that were a death sentence not only 10 years ago, right? That now people are living much longer, or if not getting cured of the disease. What have been the most significant advancements to date that have gotten to a point where you can actually work on a vaccine?
Well, I think the main advancement is a group of advancements, which is an understanding of how our immune systems work. Now, we've just still scratched the surface. We're learning more every day. But we've learned enough that we can think about vaccines to prevent cancer. We can think about therapies to target the cancer much more effectively. One of the attributes of immunotherapy that people don't understand is that unlike chemotherapy, where chemotherapy tries to destroy cancer cells, unfortunately, healthy cells and healthy tissues and organs are collateral damage in that situation. The concept of immunotherapy is we don't try and destroy the cells directly. We try and boost the ability of your own body's immune system to try and destroy the cancer. And that is starting to pay fantastic dividends for certain cancers and will continue to do so. In our case, we hope that we can prevent many types of cancers like ovarian, breast, colon, lung, and prostate cancer, sort of the big five.
Well, it certainly would be financially rewarding, and also, it obviously would be, there would be many, many families in this world that would be, thanking you for this. How do you measure the KPIs for this? Like, what is it that investors need to look for from your company over the next, 6 months to a year to determine the success of what you're doing?
I think the key point for any type of biotech company, development stage biotech company, is to look for success in clinical trials, data. So far, the data from both of our clinical trials has been fantastic, incredibly promising, but they're early stage. In the vaccine trial, we've treated 25 women, so a small number. But as we get to multiples of that, into the hundreds of women, and the data continues to look good, those are the key factors that are going to drive valuation for the company, that are going to drive excitement in the medical community for the company. And, you noted that a lot of people have been affected by cancer. I think everyone has. Certainly in my family, we have breast cancer in our family. I've got 2 daughters, and I'd love to be able to give them the vaccine and not have to worry about them ever getting breast cancer. So that's the vision. That's what we want to do.
So they just have to. How long does it take for this trial that you're in? Like, when will you have kind of a definitive answer on this?
The phase 1 is almost complete. The phase 2 trial, we're going to do it.
Well, almost complete, what does that mean? Like, in terms of months or 6 months, a year?
By the end of this year.
By the end of this year, okay.
And we plan to begin the successive adaptive registrational trial, which we hope will be a registrational trial sometime next year. And that'll be a larger number of patients, about 600 to 800 patients. Half of these patients will get the vaccine and the other half will get a control. And we want to see the ratio of cancer incidence or advancement in the vaccine group versus the control group. And that'll tell us how effective this vaccine is.
And then once you hit that threshold and you move on to phase 2 clinical trials. How long does that typically go for?
That is actually the phase 2. That is actually the phase 2 trial.
That would be the phase 2. Okay.
It's actually going to be an adaptive trial where, if the data looks really good, we can advance to a phase 3,
very quickly
expand the trial size, and then seek approval. So we'll see how quickly that happens, but most likely this trial is going to be about a 3 to 5 year time frame.
And if you make it through the 3 to 5 years and successfully, you get everything you need, then what's the market? I mean, the market potential for a vaccine for cancer is...
Well, ultimately, it's massive. Yeah. It's almost every person, every woman in the world. The initial phase will focus on... the initial market will be cancer survivors, women who've already been treated for breast cancer, but are worried about recurrence of breast cancer. So we want to prevent that recurrence, because when recurrence occurs, it's often metastatic, and it becomes a battle to keep that patient alive. And then eventually we want to be able to expand it to all women in the world. And maybe this is a bold statement for me to make, but maybe one day we can eliminate breast cancer as a disease in the same way that vaccines have eliminated infectious diseases like smallpox, polio, measles, things like that.
That would be fantastic, because if you could cure it for breast cancer, that means we're just that much further or that much closer to curing it for every other form.
Exactly, and we've got another program in ovarian cancer, and that's in preclinical stage, animal testing stage right now, and we're beginning programs for vaccines in lung, prostate, and colon as well. So absolutely, based on the success so far of the breast cancer vaccine, we are investing in all of these other vaccine programs as well.
What about AI? How is AI impacting acceleration of cure for cancer. I mean, AI has a massive impact on every other business in the world. What can you use it for, and are you using it to help you here?
AI is a very powerful technology that's just pervading, like as you said, all businesses in the biotech or medical field. There are a number of uses for AI, and just for companies like ours, for discovery studies. We're going to be using it for identifying what are known as antigens, vaccine antigens, for the aforementioned lung, prostate, and colon cancer.
Is there a collaborative effort that's happening across all of the cancer biotech companies where they're sharing data with each other relative to what their studies are in an AI environment?
To some degree, that is happening, but it could be happening more. However, biotech companies want to maintain some level of proprietariness because they not only want to help society addressing cancer, but they also need to benefit their shareholders. Right. And to that effort, our goal with our programs, including the breast cancer vaccine, is to take this vaccine long before it's actually approved and start working with larger pharmaceutical companies that have infrastructure to commercialize something like this much quicker. A small company like ours can do the innovation, but we want a larger company to market and sell the product and distribute the product because they've got the thousands of salespeople, the customer support, and ability to educate the physicians who will be prescribing these things. And so, that collaboration is in the works for us, and that we hope will be earlier than the vaccine approval.
Well, I wish you the best of luck on this. Obviously, it has a big impact on the world, so I hope you're very successful at doing it, both for the world and financially for your shareholders. And if this is an area that's touched you in your life, AnixaBiosciences, check it out. ANIX is the symbol. Amit, thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.